Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 57. I'm Andy Strickland. Cam Jansen is over here. What's going on, Cam?
What's up?
Dude, pick your dip cup up. You can't have that on the floor.
Dude, worry about your goddamn self. This is the intro.
I mean, you knocked that over.
Dude,
Could you imagine?
Dude,
we're in a
task in hand.
This is a professional setting here.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Shit's going down. Hockey's back, and you're worried about that shit?
Yeah.
Relax. Focus on what matters.
Back in the day, my brother used to chew tobacco. I think he probably still does.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah. It's bad for you. Thank you.
No. He used to play video games in my room with this stupid cup, and he'd spill it in my room, and I'd lose my mind.
Oh, it's not a good thing to do.
It's terrible.
I know.
How often do you spill your dip cup?
Oh, well, I've had my spills in a day. I spilled, I believe I spilled in the Devils locker room, brand new facility at Prudential Center. That was a horrifying experience. I had to clean that damn thing up as quick as possible. But yeah, no, it's just not. I'm quitting. Okay.
Oh,
Let's not talk about it. I'm quitting.
Are you?
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. Tomorrow. Yesterday.
I'm slowing down. Jeez Louise. Anything else?
Are you allowed to do that right now in professional sports?
I drink quite a bit too. You want to talk about that? What?
No, professionals. You're not.
No, I know I'm not. I know I'm not.
You know what?
Yeah.
You really and now you're back on the ice. You're skating.
Yeah, I'm working out.
It's like a lot of positive things happening right now with Cam Jansen.
I have to, man. I feel better this way. I was going down a weird path.
It was quarantine.
Nah, fuck that. No. I was doing it anyway, okay?
I was making an excuse for you.
I don't give a shit. I'll be real. If you're going to ask me these goddamn questions, I'm going to be real. But yeah, I was going down a little bit of too much, a little too much. And I crave beer, and it is what it is. And I've cut out a lot, man. I think I lost like 9 pounds, straight up jacked to shit. I mean, I'm looking at myself right now. I should take my shirt off, but I'm not. But I feel good, man. I honestly do. And I scored like 4 or 5 yesterday, and you saw that firsthand. So sit your ass down.
You know, I will say this before we move on, because nobody cares about the stupid-ass alumni skate.
Yeah. You
were kind of scoring from distance.
I know. I'm leaning in that goddamn puck, baby.
It wasn't even a hard shot, but they were finding it. The goaltender was leaky.
Yeah. Well, he's probably like 55 years old. He's got one hip.
Those are the best kind for you.
No shit, man. Confidence builder. Thank you.
Okay, confidence. You just used the word. You weren't very confident about the NHL returning to play.
No, I wasn't.
Now it looks like it's going to happen.
Well, 2 weeks ago was a different story. When they're coming up with all this shit and the ins and outs and what they have to do, this, that, and the other, I'm like, what? It gave me a headache thinking about how it all will come together. But once we get closer and you've seen how other things are playing out, I think the guys right now, I used to think that maybe they would sneak off. There's just no way. I think this bubble will be so guarded when it comes to that. And the guys are just going to be like, where the fuck am I going to go? The risk reward is just so, there's such a big gap. I think it will play off. Again, the only issue is, not that the guys are going to leave and get COVID. It's if they do get COVID and it spreads, and then all of a sudden, again, you have your fucking first 2 lines out, and another team has their first 2 lines out, and everyone's like, what the fuck are we doing? Right? And then they got to sit there for another 2 weeks, even when their fucking team's knocked out. If you get it, you got to stay there. I just want to see my family. But if that case, if it's still pretty quiet with the cases, this thing's going to go through, and we're going to have a lot of hockey in our face, man.
Give me your breakdown. Give me your matchup you're most looking forward to watching, too, and give me an upset you see in the play-in round.
Do I look like fucking Keith Jones to you, motherfucker? What the fuck? No one even knows. Like anybody knows. Well, I think this team's... No, you don't know. You don't know. This is so different.
Okay, let me ask you this. People break it down as if the season ended last week.
Fuck. I mean, it just no one knows.
Is it a new season?
I mean, yes. It's a new. I don't even know what happened last season. I forgot Vladdy was out the whole fucking time. I could just forget. It feels like 5 years ago. So people are gonna be like, well, I think this is gonna look. We don't know. Now, what teams are good? Well, the Blues are good. Colorado's good. Okay. Fuck. Washington's fucking good.
Boston.
They might win.
Tampa Bay.
I mean, goddamn. I don't know. I don't know. And no one does.
I love how you reach for your computer. You're like,
oh, let me look.
Give me the brackets.
Well, let me look
give
at
me
this.
The brackets.
They have a percentage of it. No, fuck you. No. I just think this is so bizarre to where anything can happen. The mindset that you have to kind of create for yourself is just so different than anything you've ever done. So
I heard someone try to break it down like this the other day about goaltenders.
Yeah.
You know, so-and-so's a slow starter in the month of October. So this could hurt their team's chances. Well, it's not October. It's August. Maybe he's better in August than he is in October.
I don't know. Your mental clock is so funky.
Because he's bad in October, that means he's going to be bad in August?
No, I mean,
come on.
That means everybody's going to be bad right now because everybody's bad at this time.
I will say this, though. I was at the rink today.
Yeah, the guys are flying
Berube's not playing.
Good.
Like, he's like,
is he fucking
get in there. Oh, my God.
Motherfucking guys.
These guys.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I love it, too.
Yeah, man. Well, again, you need that, dude. Like, look, this is no joke now. You're in it. No one opted out. You had your chance to opt out. None of the Blues did. You're fucking grinding now, boy. And you're going to not do shit. You're going to be disciplined. You might eat like shit because the food, at least in the NBA, seems like it sucks.
Yeah, but Vladimir Tarasenko says it doesn't matter.
Did you see his quote? That was the best quote ever.
He's not at a 5-star resort. That's like the most hockey thing of all time.
I know, because you're not. You're not at a 5-star resort, man. You're just in a fucking quarantineville playing hockey.
Not a bad hotel, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just not the right setup whenever you go.
The Olympic Village.
You know, exactly. The breeding ground, Olympic Village.
What's going on in the NBA hub? Do we know right now?
Oh, they're sneaking fucking dime pieces. And
are they partying like crazy?
They're fucking sneaking dime pieces, and those guys are uncontrolled. How do you control a guy? How do you control a team in the NBA? How are you going to James Harden saying, I don't want you to do that? What are you going to do? He's making $40 million. If he's out, you're not winning anything.
You can't smoke weed in here.
Get the fuck out of here. They're bringing bongs in. They're fucking bringing porn. Shit, yeah. I want to go down there and hang out with them. God bless it. The lady working the front desk is 6 foot, and she's a fucking dime off Instagram. The cleaning lady's a dime.
Yes.
It's crazy. They know how to do it because no one's going to say anything to them.
Where'd you find that cleaning lady?
Shit.
Instagram?
That tall, blonde, blue-eyed. Where?
What? A cleaning lady.
Holy shit. And the one guy,
Room
the nerdiest guy of
service.
all is LeBron. LeBron's probably like, what are you guys doing in there?
Taco Tuesday.
Are you having sexual intercourse? What's going on?
You're on his ass.
It's Taco Tuesday, guys. Come play. The guy's like, fuck, I'm smoking weed and banging pussy. Go back to your room, LeBron. Oh, shit. Sorry, but that seems like a blast.
Sorry.
I don't even give a shit if they play. I just want to hear stories.
I want to like have a TV show inside the
Yes.
hub. Let's go to the NBA hub. That's where I want to be.
Be creeping from like the weeds. Like, what's going on in there?
Seriously,
Fuck, it's a lot funner than what
guys are like shotgunning beers.
Yeah, they're fucking partying.
It's an all-out party in there.
Holy shit! So the NHL's not going to be this way.
Do you think it'll be that way at all?
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
They're going to be like sipping wine.
They're just going to be chilling and playing video games.
Let's go golfing, guys.
I mean, there's some guys that are going to be itching to go wheel, but you know, they're just like, just get this shit going and just get it over with.
Right.
Honestly,
I really think so too.
I know. Man, it's going to be the one thing everybody's going to be sexually frustrated when it comes out of this fucking thing. You see a female, you're like, oh my goodness, what is that?
They're all running after
What
her.
is that thing?
She's mine.
Oh, swinging dicks all over the fucking place nonstop. No, thank you. Well, a lot of action coming our way, man.
Okay, you have a prediction? Who's going to come out of this?
Jesus, what the fuck? Prediction. I don't know. Fucking Christ.
We are going to do predictions, by the way. The Cam and Strick predictions are coming your way. And we're going to have those on video. You're going to break it down, kind of.
I think Columbus is going to win.
You do?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
Do you know who they play in the first round?
I don't even know who's on that team.
Columbus. Yeah, you do.
Yes, I
Torts,
do.
by the way. He's a finalist for the Jack
Can
Adams.
we get into that real quick?
Let's do it.
Okay. Everybody.
I have an issue. Can I just tell you my issue real quick?
Fine. You have your issue. Go.
Okay. Now, the broadcasters vote for the Jack Adams. You know, different people vote for different awards.
Yeah.
I have voted in the past for the Jack Adams
Good
Award.
for you.
And the broadcasters, for the most part, they typically get it right. I mean, if there's one group of people who don't play in the NHL who I would trust, it would be the broadcasters. They're watching games nonstop. They know the personalities. They know
not the writers?
Well, they probably not. Remember how the Riders like one year had like 3 right wingers?
Yeah.
And the first team?
They
had like Ovechkin as a right winger and a left winger?
They get confused sometimes. But no, I know what you mean by it.
So I trust them. So I'm not bashing anybody. I mean, the ballots are what they are. It's not about saying this guy or that guy or this guy doesn't belong. Bruce Cassidy, good coach. John Tortorella, longtime coach, good coach. Dealt with a lot of injuries. Alain Vigneault, he's been a finalist a bunch of times. He's won it. He's won it once. I think
turned it around.
They're 4th in the East.
Yeah.
And I think they had an 18-point increase from last season. So, but I mean, the Eastern Conference. I mean, the Eastern Conference must be just really good. I had no idea how great the East was.
Very good, apparently.
Craig Berube, and I'm not saying this because I'm here in St. Louis, and I know people are going to assume that I am, and I probably won't convince you otherwise. So if you think that, I don't give a shit either. Anyway.
Who cares?
But this guy should have won it last year after taking over a team who's last in the conference, and all of a sudden they win the Stanley Cup. And I know the voting, it takes place before the playoffs, but still, they had an unbelievable turnaround. Won 11 straight games at one point last season. He should have been the winner last year. Didn't win. And you look at what he's been able to do with this team this season. No Tarasenko. Injuries on the back end. To be able to have the team first in the conference. Okay? No Stanley Cup hangover. Dealing with all of that. Dealing with the pressure of being the reigning champion in the National Hockey League. Being great on the road, being good at home, having his best players.
You're blowing them.
Having his best players lead every single night.
Yeah.
Getting production from depth players, using his depth. How the hell is he not a finalist for the award?
Because I think that they have a Stanley Cup team. And I think it's more of an underdog story, like a John Tortorella, with a team that there's not many big names, and the big names tend to leave. Panarin, Bob, all them, they don't want to play there.
Bruce Cassidy has a Stanley Cup team.
I mean, he shouldn't be on it either. He shouldn't even be on it. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think Berube belongs in there or no?
I think he should be considered. I just think
he is being considered.
Okay, well, not in the final three. I think he could be in for Bruce Cassidy, in my opinion. But I think that John Tortorella would have my vote in this situation from what he has done with the team that he has, in his roster. And talk about injuries. That team, holy shit. They don't have any big stars, man. They really, really don't. And they were banged up all year, and they're still in a good spot. So I don't know, man. It's tricky, but it's definitely a conversation one way or the other.
And then they have like the Masterton Award or whatever it is. And like
my favorite's a Lady Byng.
Meester's not he's not a candidate for that.
Yeah, but if you look at some of the other ones,
Bobby
like
Ryan, he
man,
belongs on there.
I know. He's on the pod. We talked about
He's
that.
our guy.
Yeah.
And so we wish him the best.
No shit.
And
no shit. I mean, the Lady Byng.
We always pull for our guys.
The Lady Byng trophy, though, it's like, fuck. Like, can we just not have that around? Like,
what
the fuck is the point of it?
Is that something you're proud to be a finalist for?
I don't know.
Ryan O'Reilly's a finalist.
We had Pierre Turgeon on and stuff like that. We had some guys on that won it.
We don't even talk about it.
I don't even give a fuck. It means you're smart because you're doing a lot without being in a penalty box.
Most of these guys, though, they play a ton. They're go-to players for their team. Tons of responsibility, and they don't take penalties. I mean, that's basically the award.
I know. Yeah, maybe I do like it.
They're nice guys.
Yeah, I think back in the day, now it's like, good job. Back in the day, it's like, sometimes you got to take a penalty because it was so gruesome back then. It's like, if you're not sticking up for yourself, then fuck. But now it's like you're not doing stupid shit with the sticks. Back then, when you had to win a Lady Byng Award in the 80s and the 90s, it's like you're just not fucking sticking up for yourself because you're getting cross-checked in the back. You're getting fucking bullied around by 10 different guys. So it's a little bit, it's changed in my opinion.
All right, I'm all for wearing the mask. I don't even touch that controversy. It is a hot button issue right now.
I know.
But it's very confusing. I have no idea who I'm talking to half the time.
When they waved you?
They waved to me.
Nah, I know.
From a distance.
They don't know who you are
with
either.
the mask on, and I have no idea. And I think to myself all day long, who was that?
Yeah, it is very confusing. I do the same thing. But I kind of like it, too. It's like, fuck, I look like Bane cruising around like, what's up?
Bane?
Bane? Is it not Bane?
Who is that?
Batman?
Oh, I got you.
The guy with looks like a fucking Jack guy, you know?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
You know who's cool?
Who?
Shayne Corson.
Oh, yeah, dude.
This is I'm just going to warn people. One of our best interviews I think we've done.
Yeah, he's great. Down to earth.
I think he was that good. Played a long time. Captain for a couple different teams.
Fought
heavies too.
Man. Yeah, he was down to earth. I didn't know how down to earth he was going to be because I believe, Andy, we made fun of him about this. I believe he asked for a guest list. A guest list from you.
He wanted the guest list.
So we're like, you'll hear what we said to him about it. But so that's like a red flag.
But he wasn't talking shit. He was just kind of like, hey, who's been on? Like, give me your guest list.
Yeah, but still.
I think some of these guys though, they want to make sure when they go and do these things that it's like a legit.
He's not going to get put on the spot somehow. But it's like,
just
you're a big boy. Let's just be like, fuck you. I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
But that's still a red flag on how the the conversation could go. It could be just very quiet, and he's not gonna. Yeah. He was fucking awesome.
And now he's like our best friend.
Yeah, I know. He calls me all the time. Okay, he texted me one time. Okay, fine, he didn't. Loser.
But he also has had overcome some personal adversity too. You know, and he opens up about that.
Yeah.
And so he's doing great, and obviously wish Shayne Corson the best, man. This was a lot of fun having him on. People will enjoy this. Played for Team Canada in the Canada Cup. Had a great career, man. An unbelievable run. And
it's a good get, man. That was a good get.
Used to run with Brian Noonan back in the day.
Noonsy.
I talked to other people who I kind of wish I had talked to prior to doing the interview with Corson. I mean, this guy just went hard every night.
Yeah, he partied, man.
He partied like crazy.
I'd like to play with him.
I mean, every night. But they would all say he'd be one of the first people to get to the rink. He'd practice hard.
That's what you got to do, man.
How do you have that type of motor to do that every single night?
It definitely wears on you. It does. It slows you down. You just suck it up, but it definitely slows you down. If anybody's like, I play better, hung out. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Do you think there's guys
you don't.
Who had great careers, who got by purely on talent? They went so hard off the ice, they could have been even better than they already were.
Hell yes, Andy. Are you kidding? Yeah. Oh, my God, yes.
I'm thinking of a couple of them.
Oh, shit. Looking in the mirror.
Well, not you. Well, actually,
fuck.
maybe.
I mean, yeah, man. I fucking put myself in a fucking jam. Big time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying I was going to score goals, but maybe I play a couple more years.
Right.
I put myself in a fucking hole more than even guys you're talking about, buddy.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
We'll get into that one.
Well, you climbed out of it, dude.
I did.
All right.
I know.
And now you're bringing the heat on the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Yeah.
Shayne Corson here on episode number 57. As always, brought to you by CarShield and CarShield.com. Talk about bringing the heat.
No shit.
Don't be left out in the heat. When your car breaks down, you have nowhere to turn.
Embarrassing.
They will hook you up with a rental car. We don't focus on that enough.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's right.
You can pick where you want to have it worked on. You know, like who works on your car when it's all messed up. You say, hey, I want it to go here. I want little Johnny at Johnny's Auto Shop.
Fuck little Johnny. We talked about it. He sucks at hockey, remember?
At Johnny's Auto Shop,
Yeah.
I want Johnny to fix my car. No problem. And guess what? They'll send a rental car for you.
Yep.
And you're not going to have to pay for it. This is like the greatest deal in American civilization. It's the best thing ever.
And it's cheap every month. Look, don't be embarrassed like I was.
No, don't be embarrassed. It's like COVID-19.
I
don't be embarrassed if you get it.
I know. I'm like, I drove my mom's car. I'm like, oh God, they're not. She doesn't have fucking tinted windows on that. And I'm like, oh, people are staring at you in the light. And you're like, oh God. Anyway, don't get in that jam. And if you do, they'll take care of you. They'll give you a nice rental car. They make it so easy.
Don't be unfit to drive.
Don't be unfit to drive. Good one. Don't be unfit to drive. CarShield. Check them out.
Absolutely. 800-857-2481. Visit carshield.com, mention the promo code CAM, and you'll save 10%. 800-857-2481. You should have that number memorized by now.
Yes, you should.
Carshield.com. Again, promo code CAM, you'll save 10%. GadgetBuyback.com. I just get excited when we talk about Gadget Lab.
What a great concept,
Oh, my God.
I mean, how many times you drop your shit?
Why didn't we think of that?
Look at this, by the way, and you'll see in our fight videos that there's a little war wound on my fucking computer here, and I'm like, damn,
what happened?
I don't know. I think I dropped it. It's like I drop everything. So if you drop your phone, again, I always say this, but it's so true. Like, honestly, if people see you, if you're in a job interview, you're talking to a girl, you're trying to, and your phone's all fucked up, you can't take it serious. You can't. So go in there. They'll take care of it for you.
Even if you're in the market for a new device, dude, give them a call. But if you want to trade in an old phone, old tablet,
old company stuff.
If you broke your phone,
yeah,
there's only one place to turn to. Like, don't be looking on the internet. Oh my God, what do I do?
What do I do? Help me.
GadgetBuyback.com. If you're local, GadgetLabMobile.com. They've got a store in Oakville. They'll fix it while you wait. It's that simple. If you're a business owner out there and you're buying all your employees tablets and phones and everything, and they're sitting around, you know what? Business is slow. You want to know why it's slow? Because your phones are slow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're slowing the fucking company
Be
down.
up to date.
There it is.
Okay,
dude.
trade that shit
Schools,
in.
all that
and
shit.
They pay top dollar for it. They really do. I mean, it's an amazing concept. So why not get paid for your old phone? Like, I mean, seriously.
I don't know.
It's a no-brainer.
I know. Why you keep asking me?
877-772-8880. 877-772-8880. Gadget Lab. Again, their website, two of them. GadgetBuyback.com. If you want to check out the local store here in Oakville, if you're in the St. Louis area, GadgetLabMobile.com. Again, 877-772-8880. Bellman.com. New cars, used cars. Buick GMC Cadillac on one side of the street. What's on the other side of the street?
Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, and GM.
Ram.
Go! Ram. Badass cars, tons of selections.
Yes.
Great
But
people over
GMC
there.
on the other side.
Other side GMC.
Yeah,
That's where I
Buick,
fucked
Cadillac,
up.
GMC.
That's where I fucked. Thank
Chrysler,
you.
Dodge, Jeep, Ram on the
Thank
other
you.
side. I mean, the selection is there no matter what kind of car you want.
Yeah.
You want to go fast? You want to go slow? You want economy? You
I
want
wanna go
something
slow.
easy? Are you old? Are you young? Are you female, male? Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever
Or
it is.
You haven't decided. It doesn't matter.
They got everything
They
for
got
you.
everything for you.
Yes.
Everything for
Check
you.
out their website, will you? Bellman.com. BehlMann.com. Check out their incredible inventory. Used cars, new cars. Say hi to our boy, Dan Bellman,
Yes. Very comfortable when you walk in there.
Yes, man.
And one other thing, with all these sponsors, again, I've said this before.
Yes.
Guys, you got to help us out with this stuff, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
if you want to keep this ball rolling, you got to support the sponsors.
Don't
So-
buy one car, buy two cars.
Yeah, buy 5. Put yourself in debt. Doesn't matter. No, just don't do that. But on the other hand, support us, guys, because that's what keep this ball rolling.
And we have some new sponsor opportunities
Yes, big
out
time.
there.
Yeah.
I know we've heard from some people. We have some new sponsors coming on board. If you're interested in jumping on board, you want to be on our team and hang out.
Winning team.
Come on
Winning
board.
team.
Come on board. Hit us up on Instagram, on Twitter at Cam and Strick Pod. You can find us. You can of course find Cam Jansen and myself, Andy Strickland, on Twitter and Instagram as well. All right, this is episode number 57. You'll love this one. Shayne Corson, he's the man, and he brings it here on the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Well, I'm a little beat up right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not aging great. My face is fucking hideous looking.
Hey, Shayne, I love how...
I had bad taste before even COVID even started, so I'm getting really old, boy. I'll be 54 in August here, so it's not good.
We were looking at pictures of you. You look good, dude. Where are you at right now, by the way?
I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto? Dude, what are you doing? Like, are you... Like, we had Wendell Clark on the other day. We're like, what do you do, Wendell? He's like, I'm the ambassador. I'm like, that's the best fucking job ever.
Cam was calling him Wendell.
I call him Wendell.
He thinks his name's Wendell. Wendell Clark.
He doesn't give a shit.
To be honest with you, boys, I bought that Peloton. I actually got myself back in decent shape. That's what I'm doing. I'm watching a lot of CNN to figure out what's going to happen here.
Oh, there you go. I love the fact. Listen, don't tell Cam you're watching CNN.
Yeah, I know.
He'll
Easy
get
on that
upset
course.
about that. But he's coming from Toronto. I like that. I used to see you at the rink back in the day when you had a kid. I think you had a kid who was a 94 birth year, right?
Yeah, Dylan's 94. He just started his well, that's another good thing for me, boys, because my son started a RTD drink, gin. It's called Good Sunny. It's a gin and soda, so I've had lots of stock here at the house, so it's been good.
Okay, part of the deal is, listen, whoever we bring on here that has their own beverage,
You got to hook it up.
you got to hook it up. You got to send us
Eddie
some.
Belfour.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
And I want that shit signed too, Shayne. Let's
yeah,
go.
no shit.
I'll get you once we can get down to the States. I'll get you some for sure, boys. You kidding me?
Are you excited
I'll come
about...
down there. We'll have a few together.
I
Damn
like
right,
it.
dude. Oh, no, you're coming to some limo events for sure. Are you... So, what do you got going right now? Like, what's your day-to-day life look like?
He probably does appearances every day. He plays
Let
for the
him- can he
Leafs.
fucking answer it?
He's fucking in Toronto. He plays.
He's a fucking ambassador like Wendell.
He's like
He's a
Wendell's an
Muskoka.
ambassador. I
What
love
are you
it.
doing, Course? What are you doing?
Bill Clarkie's up sitting on the lake in Lake Ross on his beautiful big cottage, and I'm sitting down here in the heat in Toronto doing nothing, boys, other than getting on that Peloton and get myself in shape
Yeah,
and having a few good Sundays. But be honest, before this all started, I was actually doing a lot with the alumni, with the Leaf alumni. MLSE is great to us, so we get to do these events where we get paid to go drink Molson Coors Light and good Sundays and tell stories. So it's right up my alley, Cam.
Oh, I hear that.
Are you allowed to be opinionated? Can you give your opinion about the Leafs? Like, if you crush the Leafs publicly, like, will they let you in the building, or they don't give a shit?
We can give our opinion, but you have to walk on eggshells a little bit, boys. With they're a pretty big organization, and I'll tell you right now. Like, I played in Montreal, loved playing in Montreal. Played in Edmonton, great place to play. St. Louis was great fan base there. But after hockey, just playing in Toronto for those 3 years helped me a lot. So yeah, but I give my honest opinion what I think about the team and say what I feel for sure.
And then your brother-in-law is Darcy Tucker. Darcy came on the
he did.
the podcast. He beat up Cam, by the way, in Cam's first ever fight
up.
in the NHL. So
No,
we had to revisit that.
Boys, I've had a front row seat. That was a good fight, man. I'll be honest, before it actually got going, I'm thinking, oh my god. I was a little worried for Tux, but he did pretty good. It was a good battle, man. Both of them have a big heart, and they threw them pretty good. So it was fun for me because I didn't have to take any punch or give any, so it was good.
So what's it like having a former teammate? And listen, he's a good dude. So you picked a good one to marry your sister. But what's that like when they start dating? You know, he's a teammate. What was that like for you back then?
Boys.
I mean, come on.
I thought the last person, my sister, because I have two sisters, one's a year younger than me, and Shannon's actually 10 years younger, and it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. My dad died at 45, so she was still at home with my mom. But I thought the last person she'd want to date was a hockey player. I'm not kidding you, after growing up with me. But you're right, Tux. He actually asked, so I give him credit. He asked for my okay to ask her on a date, and then asked my mom. So it was pretty cool. But like you say, he's a good dude. He's one of us. He's old school. We have a lot of fun together. We have some good times together, man.
Yeah, he's complete opposite of how he played, right? I mean, we get him on, and he's just like, oh, hey, like just so down to earth and kind of like.
I thought he was like a psycho,
crazy.
man. Watching him play, I thought
aren't
he was
you
a
psycho like
psychopath.
me? Like, why are you so normal, Darcy?
Yeah.
So you did pretty good with that.
You know what? And he's changed. He grew a lot over the years. Like, I remember we got into it one time on the bench in Pittsburgh, and I had to tell him to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, you're exactly right. I think Cam, and you guys know, being hockey guys and knowing about watching hockey for over the years, it's always those guys you think are the crazy, maybe a little bit cocky guys that are on the ice. When you get them off the ice, they're just super teddy bear guys that are just superhuman beings and really humble and really appreciate what we did and got to do for a living. So I think it's. That, and we've all been around guys like that. Most of the boys are pretty good dudes.
All right, so take us back to when you were a kid. Like, you grew up where? Like, give us an idea how you grew up, and I've read the stories. How you very close relationship with your dad and all that.
Yeah, I grew up in Barrie, Ontario. My mom and my two sisters, my dad, and our whole family was from the Barrie area, and we had some good times, man. It was. I learned how to be, to take care of myself off the ice before I even got on the ice, to be honest with you. In Barrie, small town, growing up, you had to battle yourself out of downtown a few times, so it was pretty cool. And my dad usually was there to have my back, so I was pretty lucky. And he had two brothers, too. So we were a close-knit family. We had a lot of fun off the ice, and it's well documented. I enjoyed myself when I played the game, too, on and off the ice, so it was a lot of fun. And just was lucky to play a sport I love to play, and my parents were, the reason I got to where I got. They supported me and worked their asses off 7 days a week, night and day, running a restaurant to pay for my hockey and for me to go to the tournaments and stuff like that. So I was pretty lucky. And then my two sisters were my biggest fans. So I was lucky to have the support that I needed throughout my career.
Yeah, you talk about your restaurants. We're going to get into that in a second, but you fought so many times. I love looking guys up, right? Like I knew your career, but you always kind of have to do your research. And I saw some of the guys that you fought with. So when you bring up growing up in Barrie, like, what do you mean it was hardcore? Like guys at school where you had to stick up for yourself, or shit like that? Like, explain that.
You know where I learned how to fight? The Dust Till Done drive-in, boys. I learned fast. You go there, and it was like fight night. You go there, and you drink a case of beer, and then you get all the tough guys get into it and figure out who's the toughest guy in the city. So I learned pretty quick to throw before talking.
That's great, though. Like, that's Canada for you. I fucking love Canada. That's Canada in a nutshell. Guys talking shit like, oh, we'll go you. You beat the shit out of each other, and you have beer afterwards. Like, I wish that was the case in the U.S. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's what we used to do. We'd go in and get our food our junk food at the canteen there in the middle of the drive-in, and then we'd come out and there'd be somebody out there waiting to challenge you, and you just put your popcorn down wherever you had and get into it, finish it off, and then go have beers together. It was perfect.
Nice.
I love it.
I love
God,
that.
I love that so much.
Listen, you were drafted 8th overall. The 84 draft, by the way, was just ridiculous. Just a sick draft. Were you a phenom growing up or what?
Yeah, we all of us that got to the NHL were pretty darn good players when we were younger kids and stuff like that. And I was lucky enough I grew up in Barrie, and we had a really close team and a good bunch of guys, and we had a really good team, so that helped me for sure. And I felt I always had the dream of playing the NHL, but you don't realize that until you actually get into it and you've been drafted and you actually step in the ice, you've played, a few hundred games, and you realize, I'm actually here. But like I said, we had a good team. I was lucky enough to have some ability and some skill and be able to play the game. And I had my dad and my family there behind me. And like I said, I just had really good teammates. So it was good. I was lucky, but you have to have something special to get as far as we all got.
No, that's very true. Look, it seems like you're a captain of every damn team you've ever played on. Like, that's got to be somewhat of a confidence booster, right? Like, even in AAA for myself on a personal note, like, I didn't even get to see. Like, they thought I was a little too cocky, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're in St. Louis. Like, give me something here. Like, how do you measure that? Like, did your dad teach you to be a leader? How did you know when you walk in that locker room, I'm going to take control, and everybody kind of believes in me to put that C on my jersey?
Well, it definitely was an honor and a confidence builder for myself. But obviously my dad was my role model, and he was always the type of guy that worked hard and was good to people and tried to make everybody feel a part of it. Running a business, that he needed everybody going as hard as they could to make that business successful. So that's something that he taught me, and we all worked at the restaurant. I washed dishes for a while. My sister worked out front and stuff like that. So I just think it was work ethic and the other thing is respecting your teammates and being good to your teammates and caring about them on and off the ice. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned from my family. But for sure, something I learned from a lot of the guys that I played with. I was lucky enough to play with Gretzky a couple of times, and was with Messier in the Canada Cup and different players, Guy Carbonneau and Bob Gainey and Larry Robinson, all these guys. And something they taught me, and the funny thing is I really learned a lot about it was it takes, and you know this, it takes a team to win a championship. It takes a team in any part of life to be successful. You have to have everybody pulling in the same direction. And that's something that they taught me from a young age was, it doesn't matter if you're playing 25 minutes a game or you're playing a minute. You're just as important as a guy playing 25 minutes, because that 1 minute you go on the ice might be the biggest moment of the game. And I think that's something I learned from a young age. So I always tried to make the young guys even come. I know there was always guys that didn't like the young guys because they thought they might take their job or whatever, but I wasn't a believer in that. I believe that if you want them pulling in your direction and going through a wall for you and fight for you, you got to treat them with respect and treat them kindly and be good to them, make them feel a part of it. And that's something that I tried to do throughout my career. And that's something I obviously learned from my parents.
Yeah. Yeah, Cam knows a little bit about that. He played 1 minute a game.
Yeah, I was just like fucking Patrick Elias.
No impact.
Let me tell you something, boys. That's the most. I'm going to tell you something. I fought when I had to, and I would fight for my teammates. But the guys that had to do it every night and knew they had to do it the hardest job in hockey, and I respect those guys more than anybody. And they're the guys that made the superstar guys, and even myself, who was just, I was a pretty good player and had a pretty decent career, but you guys made us feel a little bit more confident out in the ice and let us do our thing too. And I think that, like I said, that's why I fucking believe that you got to treat everybody the same, and everybody's just as important as the next guy, because it's the next guy up too. If you get injuries, the next guy got to step up, and you could be doing another role down the road. So that's just the way I feel captains should act.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now back to the interview. Yeah,
take that down, Andy. Write that fucking down.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that, and it makes sense. But what does it do for a young player? Like when you learn the National Hockey League, on and off the ice with an organization like the Montreal Canadiens, like what does that do, just in terms of just getting your feet wet and learning what it's like to be a professional in that organization? Yeah. How'd you benefit from that?
Well, fuck, it benefited me, and it hurt me, and it benefited me a couple of ways coming from Barrie and going to Montreal, boys.
Oh my God!
I didn't know what hit me, boys. I thought I was a gazillionaire. I was making more money than my parents, and I just thought. But I mean, yeah, you know what? Growing up, funny thing is, I was a big Leafs fan, and my family, we weren't big Habs fans at the time. But when I got drafted, and I was just ecstatic to go wherever. I didn't care where I was going to play. I just wanted the opportunity to try to play and make the team. And they gave me that opportunity. But you said it, just going there with the history of that organization, and having John Beliveau around, and Rock Richard, and Guy Lafleur, and Yvon Cornway, and Steve Shutt. They're constantly in the room with us, sitting behind the bench. And I mean, it was just, and I'll tell you what, those guys are amazing people on and off the ice. They have the time for all the fans. That's another thing I learned, is you got to treat the fans really well, and they did that. Like I never seen them say no to a person for an autograph. Wow. And that's something I learned from them, and I respect that, and I think it's just amazing. And they like to have a good time out there. So I'm telling you, they did. It was a different era back then. I know things have changed nowadays, Cam, and boys, I know Stricky, it's different nowadays. They're like, and it has to. That's just the way it is. That's the way the game's evolved, and with social media and stuff. But they loved having a good time off the ice, having a few beers and telling stories. And I got that side of it too. So I was lucky. I got to play a game, have to play, had some fun off the ice, and played for a great organization. Learned about history and treating people properly, like the fans and your teammates. And that's something I learned from them guys, big time.
All right, set this up for me. You're the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Now, we've talked to Larry Robinson. We talked to Brian Gianto. We talked to Scotty Gomez. Who else was on the Canadiens? Jesus Christ.
Claude Lemieux.
Claude Lemieux. Okay. set this up.
Chelios, there's tons of guys out there.
Yeah, but these are the guys we've had on the Chelios is
Perfect.
still pending coming on, by
Chelios.
the way. We got to fucking convince his ass. He's looking at our
get
guest.
him on.
He's looking at our guest list kind of like what you did.
Yeah.
And he's going to pick out and say, okay, he had him on.
Well,
We'll come on.
hey, he just doesn't want to get in trouble. He's like, man, I'm afraid I'm going to
No
say something I
shit.
shouldn't say.
I
I'm like,
know.
Chelly, here's what you do. You don't
Don't say anything dumb.
stupid.
I say stupid
right.
things. You don't. Anyway, let me set this up for you. You're the captain. You're in control, everybody. Okay? Whether you like it or not, you're in control. It's a Saturday night. You just win 6-0. You got a bunch of young guys in the locker room. They all want to go out. You're taking the boys out. Like, how do you balance that in Montreal? You're walking out. Everybody knows you're at. You have beautiful flow going on, Shayne, by the way. That the girls are like, good God. You might as well, if I'm your wife, I'm like, shave your fucking head right now because you're just attracting everything.
Hey,
How do you balance that shit?
Cammy, it was shaved my rookie year. They shaved it pretty quick for me.
That's a disgrace to human
And
society.
guess what? It helped.
I
It
know.
hurt, it helped.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're a rookie for the Montreal Canadiens. Great. Yes, I am. Yeah, that's me.
Exactly. It's actually reverse. How do you balance? No, but seriously though, how do you balance that on a Saturday night? Everybody wants a piece of you. Like these guys want to go out. They're making a little bit of money. Like you're the captain.
yeah.
How do you get in control of that whole situation?
You know what? Like, and that's something I look back a bit. Like early on in my career in Montreal, that's something that I wish I would have learned a little quicker.
No
To
shit.
be able to balance that going out and not going out. I
Oh,
mean,
my
like there's
God.
some obvious things that they're public that I got myself in a bit of trouble. But I mean, that's just part of growing up and coming from a small town. And sometimes I just don't know when to say no, and
Yeah.
I had to learn that part of it. But there is a big balance, and it's definitely, like I mentioned earlier, it's changed that nowadays you have to really balance because with the social media phones and all that stuff. So, I mean, I would be the first one to take the boys, whether it was a cap or not, out for a drink and pay for a couple rounds. That's for sure. Because I think that's just as important as anything that you do on the ice. To be quite frank with you, you need to be a close knit team, and we've all played in those teams, and it makes a big difference on the ice. As far as I'm concerned, you go through a wall for the guy, and especially if you can sit down and have a beer with them and tell them the truth and be honest with each other, and then just have each other's backs when you get to the rink the next day. And that's another thing I was taught by the Montreal Canadian guys, and one of the guys that said this to me from when I remember I was playing the Canada Cup. I was playing on line with Gretz, and he told me, he goes, "Course, I don't mind you having some fun. You just come to the rink the next day and work your tail off every day. Be the hardest working guy on the ice." And he taught me that. Shelley taught me that in Montreal, and other guys have said that. But I believe that's a big part of it, and I still think you need to do those types of things. And I think there's teams that still do that in the NHL now, for sure, on a different level than what we did in the day. But
Yeah,
for sure, I still think it's important.
I don't think Chelios had any fun off the ice. by the way.
I never heard anything.
But like,
No, not at all.
But Gretzky, he's around St. Louis a lot, and this guy, I mean, you get to know him. Obviously, you know him at a much different level. You were his teammate. Was he always like that, where he just is so approachable, the nicest guy, loves to have a good time off the ice? Was he always one of the boys, even when he was just dominating the National Hockey League?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get to play them in the '91 Canada Cup. It was the year that they brought 66 of us into Toronto and Collingwood, and we had a training camp. So I actually was out on his line with Steve Larmer, who I find, one of the best players I've ever played with, all-around players I've ever played with, Steve Larmer, one of the most humble people. He was my ended up being my roommate. We had different roommates as the camp was going along, and guys got cut, and then you'd move in with different guys, and he ended up being my roommate. But Gretz was like that. He took me and my mom and my dad under his wing during that training camp. I was on his line from day one. I don't think I played off his line once, and he he treated me like a son, to be honest, at that time, and treated my parents like gold. And he didn't need to do that. I was just a young guy coming in from Montreal, but he was just so good. I remember the first practice, I was so nervous. I remember sweating because I didn't even want to go to the camp. My dad said, "Just go and you'll get an experience, even if you don't make it." And showed up, I'm on his line. I was just sweating. And the first day of camp, I mean, he fed me one with like a wide open net, and I healed it and went into the corner. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be off this guy's line in about 2 shifts. And he skated over to me and said, "Don't worry about it, kid. Just keep working hard." And that's what I did. And I ended up playing with him the whole thing. And then I got to play with him again in St. Louis, and just the same thing. Like, he just treats all the guys. And that's what I mean. He's one of the guys that taught me that. He treated everybody from the guy that played a minute to the guy that played 25, 30 minutes all the same. And he wanted everybody to be included and be a part of it. And that's something that he's always been. And he loves to have a good time. I've done his event in Vegas till he stopped doing it. And it's just a great cause, but a lot of fun. And that's what he likes. He likes doing events for the good cause and raising money, obviously, but he likes to see his buddies, and he always picks his buddies to come down there and have fun with him. So he's always been like that. He's just amazing.
He is amazing, man. And even when he like says, "Hi, Cam," I'm like, you know my fucking name? Like, goddamn right. Like that little things. Like he probably just
Big time,
guessed.
Cam.
I think Chaser told him that my name was Cam at the time. But so what? He still called me Cam. But you play with that guy like that though? Do you worry about just being in the right spot? I mean, is he just so ahead of the game to where like you're trying to get into a right spot or whatever? Or is there anybody that's equivalent to him that you played with that you just need to be in the right spot, whether he's looking at you or not, and you just put your stick on the ice and it's going in?
You know what? It's scary. Like you can think about a few guys that like were that like Mario Lemieux was an unbelievable hockey player too. But I mean, like you're so right. Like with him, I just tried to get the open spaces, and I just tried to create open spaces for him. So that's all I tried to do, and I just kept the game simple, and it was really simple playing with him and with Larms, and then in St. Louis it was with him and Holly, and like Holly doesn't get like Holly's a Hall of Famer and he gets that respect, but he always talks about how great a shot he had in a goal scorer, which he was one of the greatest ever, but that guy could make a pass unbelievable too. So playing with those two guys was like just go to the net and they'll bounce one in off your stick or your skate or something, and it's thank you. It's that easy playing with those two guys. It was just super fun, and they made it interesting. Holly's a beauty, and Gretz was himself, and it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, I played with some great players in the past. Like I played with Lindros in the Olympics, '98 Olympics. He was my line mate in the Olympics, and it was supposed to be Paulie Korea because we had played together in the World Championships the year before, and we'd had a lot of success there. So I think that's why they kind of wanted to put our line back together for the Olympics in '98. But Korea ended up getting hurt by Suter there, right? So. I mean, Lindros was a beast to play with, too. Another easy guy to play with. Messier was – there's just so many – Saku Koivu, Reki, Jason Arnold. I could just go on. Every team you played on there, these guys, Cam, every guy that played – as far as I look at every guy that played in the NHL, if you got a chance to play with any of them, they're all great players. But there are the guys that are just at a different league, and Gretz is that guy. Like, I don't think there'll ever be a guy like him. Like, it's just like – I don't know how he's seen me there, but he got me the puck. It was just incredible.
I want to ask you about that, though. So we've had Mike Keenan on with us. We had Lindros on with us, by the way, too. Some of the guys that you're mentioning, man, just great stories and so much respect for these guys. But, Keenan comes on, listen, the story when he took the C off of Brett Hull's jersey and he gave it to you before you handed it over to Gretzky when Gretzky came over. Was that uncomfortable for you considering, Holly's place inside the dressing room? It was your first year here in St. Louis. Like, how did that go down? Tell us.
Oh, I'll never forget it actually. Like, cause I'm a big fan of Holly. Like, I think Holly's a great hockey player, and I always got along great with Holly. And I just think he's a beauty, and I've had a lot of fun with my Gretz's camp. So, but yeah, I was only there. It was my first year, and I mean, I get called in, and they told me what they were thinking of doing, and I didn't want anything to do with it, right? But then at some point, somebody's got to take it over. So I did. But yeah, I felt very uncomfortable about it, and to be quite frank with you, when we traded for Gretz, I was kind of like one of the happiest guys because here you go, Wayne. Like, you're the greatest player to play the game, so you can take the C and I'll fall back and wear an A, and I'll just be happy doing that.
But what's the story there? Keenan took it off of Holly, though, right? Because Holly was pissed off about the way Keenan was treating Dale Howardchuk. Is that how it went down?
You know what? Looking back, if I was to tell you the story, I'd want to tell you the story if I could remember it 100% right. But yeah, there was there was definitely friction between Holly and Keenan, and there were some things that went on in the room that I think a lot of guys weren't happy about, to be quite frank with you, like the way certain people were being treated. I mean, I always was treated like Keenan treated me pretty fairly, and he was a type of coach who's going to be hard on you, and that's just the way he thought he could get the best out of you. And sometimes different people have to be treated differently. I think when I look back at it, you can get more of a guy if you give him a pat in the back than kick him in the butt. Whereas if you kick me in the butt, I was used to it. I liked it. It got me mad, and I played harder. But there were some things that went on there that that Holly was probably unhappy about. I think there was other guys there that weren't very happy about certain things either. So I think it just came down. It was a bit of an explosion. And I think both Holly and Mike are really emotional guys. I think you know that from talking to both of them. And they're not afraid to say what they're thinking or how they're thinking. And not anybody's ever always right. So I think there was like a lot going on there that maybe we didn't even know that the rest of the team in the room knew exactly what was happening there.
Cam and Strick Podcast here for our boy Dan Bellman with Bellman.com.
Yeah, baby.
You need some new wheels? Why not get a Cadillac, a Buick, a GMC? Head out to Troy today. And again, don't forget about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram right across the street.
No doubt.
Right there in Troy, Missouri. Visit them online. Check out their new selection, the pre-owned selection, the best service you will find anywhere in the country. Behlmann.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
Now back to the interview. But when you guys get Gretzky, I mean, you guys had a team that was capable of winning it all. And I know Grant Fuhrer got hurt. We can talk about what happened against Detroit there in the playoffs. But, you know, a young Chris Pronger, like, that was his first or second year. First year with the Blues,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Like,
Yep.
did you see the future for him being what it ended up being in terms of him turning out to be a Hall of Fame defenseman? Like, would you have believed that if I would have told you that back then when you first started playing with him and had a chance to watch him play every day?
Yeah, quite frankly, yeah, I would. I mean, he had everything that you needed to be a Hall of Famer, right? Big. He could fight when he needed to. And back then you needed that in the game. Now I know it's changed nowadays, but back then you did need that. He was mean when he needed to be, and he had all the tools. So you could see that for sure. Given the opportunity, put in the right situation, that he could turn into a Hall of Famer for sure. I mean, I still stay in touch with Prongs a bit. I'm just happy and excited for him that he got into the Hall of Fame and had such a great career. But yeah, I definitely could see that for sure. I mean, he came a long ways, and he I think the best thing for him is to move to St. Louis, to be honest with you. That was a good move for him with some of the guys who were around.
He was a prick, just say it. He'll slash you in the back of the head. He'll whack you in the
big
head.
time.
You try to hit him, he'll put your fucking elbow right in your goddamn chin and buckle you and then spit on you when he skates by. Like, that's just the best of the best right there.
He was mean. That's what I mean. He could be mean when he needed to be. He was dirty about it too. Trust me, Prongs would give you a two-hander behind the ankles or the knee anytime. He was a beauty.
He'll still do it, to be honest with you. And we're not even playing against each other anymore. He'll take a stick and fucking whack you just to let you know that he's the boss. Tell us about.
He wants to be the boss. That's for sure.
And he is. You are fucking Prongs. We already accepted that. So take us back, though. Look, I'm from St. Louis. I was born and raised.
Yep.
I remember the goal, the Stevie Eisman goal. It broke everybody's. Was that just a heart? Like, you had this fucking team, man. You had
playing after that.
Just break that whole scenario down. I don't know if you're on the ice or not, but you're on the bench. But just break the whole thing down because that was hardcore.
On the ice.
You were on the ice, weren't you? Never mind. I'm looking at the replay right now. You were on the fucking ice.
Yes, I was on the ice, buddy.
Break that down for us.
Well, I mean, it was an unbelievable series. Like, it was a battle of the series, and like you had mentioned, we had lost Fierzy in the Toronto series when Kip Rouse fell on him on purpose, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then Case came in. I'll tell you what, Case did a hell of a job for us. Did what he needed to do, and played well enough for us to move on. And I think we went back to St. Louis for Game 6, and I think we got walloped in St. Louis, Game 6. But we still felt really good. We were coming into Detroit, and we could win that Game 7 with the guys that we had on our team. And then it was. I remember I got a chance, I'm not mistaken. I think it was in the
first overtime.
First time was overtime.
Like a semi breakaway, right?
God, Corson.
Yeah, it was a semi breakaway in the first overtime, and I think I tried to go like far side and hit the stick, and then I got to watch that goddamn fucking video of Eisman scoring that goal all the time up here in Canada.
God.
They play it on Sportsnet constantly, where he scores and jumps up and down behind the net, and then I have to watch the Lanny McDonald one when he scores.
Right.
Against us in Montreal when we lost in '89 in the Cup. So I got a couple where they play them constantly. They're constant. I see them like 7 times a week. But that was pretty. I remember being on the ice. I think the puck got turned over the blue line somewhere by somebody. I don't want to say.
Yeah, I know. You may have heard of him.
Oh, it's so funny, man.
But I think it got turned on and went down the other way. And I mean, I seen him winding up to shoot it, but I thought, I'm okay. And then it went in. And I was just like, fuck, man. Is it this real? Or are we dreaming this shit? Is it over? And it just sunk in. You're right. Going into that room with that team, and then seeing the guys in there, and then getting on the plane was probably one of the hardest things I've done in my career. I mean, I love those guys. That group of guys was one of my favorite group of guys to play with, to be quite honest with you. And to playing in that rink in St. Louis was amazing. Mm-hmm. The people were incredible. They were right behind us, supported us. So it was devastating. And then to get the season's over, and then the season starts the following year, and I think it was a month and a half or something into it. They trade Murray Barron and I to back to Montreal, and I'll never forget it. We came into the room, and Keenan asked to talk to us, brought us in, and told us. We went back in the room, and the room was just a disaster. Like, we had become really close through that playoff that playoff battle of the year before, and we were a lot of upset guys, including myself and Bear. We were in tears, and I know Mac T made a couple comments after we were gone, which were really nice from Craig McTavish and the rest of the guys, Chopper, McInnes, and all those guys. And it was tough to leave there. I mean, I really enjoyed my time there in the playoff run. We just came up a little bit short, but it was depressing, man, and it was tough to leave.
You guys were so good, man. I can still see Murray bearing the puck coming off of Yzerman's stick and
Sprong was hurt
and just whizzing right past Murray Barron. But what's the story with your contacts? Like, were they trying to make you wear contacts or something in St. Louis? Somebody from the Blues told me this story.
Back then?
This is the type of research. See, Cam should learn. This is how you do research.
That's what you do for a living, Andy. I'm just getting into this business.
So listen. Hey,
you guys are good, man.
See,
you know what? So the true story is, there was. So I have really bad eyesight, and I knew that from a young kid. So I stopped wearing glasses as a young kid, and I'm legally blind in one eye. And this is the first time anybody's ever heard about this. So I couldn't wear glasses, and then my contacts, because my eye was flat instead of being oval. I have a couple of astigmatism, and I have a couple other things. So I wore glasses, and they never really checked our eyesight through most of my career. And then St. Louis and Mike decided they wanted to test it, and sure enough, they realized that I need glasses or contacts, and they tried to get me to wear the contacts. I tried them every practice, but I just couldn't get them to fit properly back then. I'm sure there's ones now, but I just wear glasses. But so Jimmy Roberts used to wait there for me every day before practice. They put these in, so I don't know if that was the reason they got rid of me or what, but maybe it was because Turgeon was coming back the other way. I don't know.
He was good here.
Your hair wasn't long enough, I heard.
He was good.
He was really good there, man.
Hey, but you know what? You know what they tell me though? They say, hey, Hully and Oates, they had unbelievable chemistry on the ice, but off the ice, no one had better chemistry than Shayne Corson and Brian Noonan. What you guys used to run?
Noonan?
You guys used to run together or what?
Oh, I love Brian Noonan.
So did I.
Cam, beauty. He's a great person.
Oh yeah.
I think I haven't talked to Noons and it's kind of sad because I haven't talked to Noons in like years now. And we were really tight. We were good friends off the ice and on the ice. But like I said, to be quite that team was close. We were close. Like, that's one of the best groups I ever played with. Like all those guys, and we were together. Courtnall and McInnes and Igor Kravchuk and Charlie Huddy and Craig McTavish and Glenn Anderson. Like, we did everything together. We were together all the time. Like we did a lot of stuff together. But at home, me and Nunes ran a bit together, and he was another guy that was just like a gem guy. Like he's just a nice guy. Likes to have a good time, and he's another humble guy, which I really respect guys like that. And he would do anything for his teammate on and off the ice, and that's something else that I loved about Nunes. I think he's in Chicago running some hockey program or something now, is the last I heard. But he's we had some fun together, man. Good stories there.
He's probably still playing for Keenan. Wherever Keenan's coaching right now.
He's making money in Chicago one way or the other.
He's with Stefan Matteau somewhere with Mike Keenan right now. That's where the hell Brian Noonan is.
All hanging out together. If you're in Chicago,
he brought everybody in, Mike. That's what he used to do. He brought Andy in and all those guys. It was hot. It's hilarious what he does.
It's crazy, man. Let me try to pronounce this. I guess it's. Oh, geez, here we go. Of course, don't make fun of me, for fuck's sakes.
I won't, brother.
Ulcerative colitis.
Ulcerative colitis.
Yes. See, I said it right. I said it right.
You don't know how to
say it right.
I said it right.
You said it right, brother.
Explain that to us. That's got to be a pain in the ass. Explain what you had to
Literally.
do. No, I meant that.
No pun
Literally,
intended.
no pun intended. I was about to fucking
did.
say that. Tell us how god awful that is. You're on the fucking bench. Your stomach's fucked up. Like, that's the worst feeling in the world. You can't even get the goddamn puck out of the zone thinking your stomach's all fucked up. Go ahead. Explain how that all went down.
I have ulcerative colitis. I found out when I had it when I was 15, actually. So they tried to tell me back then at 15 that my career might be over because of the colitis and stuff. Because what happens is whatever I was eating or drinking would just run out of me, and I hit it for about 5-6 months because I was scared. I thought I had something more serious, to be honest. I'll be quite frank. I thought I had something like cancer or something because I was bleeding from the butt and stuff like that, and all water, and couldn't keep anything down. And went and see the doctor, and finally they realized what it was. They did a scope and did all these things, and they realized I had colitis. And they tried me on the medication. I was taking like 12 pills a day to start with, and luckily for me, the very first drug they tried me on, it worked for me, and I took that for years. And then they switched me over to a new one down the road where you only had to take a couple a day. But yeah, it was got to the point where I lost a bunch of weight during my draft year to the OHL. I lost like I think 25 pounds or 20 pounds, and just I was actually on my underage year. I was gonna get drafted my underage year, but I just wasn't myself. Didn't have any energy, and then once I got on this medication, started keeping my food down and all that was a lot better. But yeah, it's definitely a pain in the ass. I remember even when I played through my career, I'd always get anxiety because if I was on the plane, if I had to go like 5 or 6 times on the plane, I'd be embarrassed, right?
Well,
or
shit,
if I'm on my drive home.
You're lucky to get fined.
Dude, I'd be on my way home. That's.
Well, what's the story?
You know I'm talking about those, Shayne.
I got fined a few times, boys. But not
on
for
the
that.
bus. On the bus, you're sitting on the bus, Shayne.
Maybe missing a couple planes I got fined for. But
anyway.
Oh, fucking horrible.
And you know what? All the flight attendants they're usually really cute too. And you're like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom again. I'm going to the bathroom again. I mean, it's fucking like that's got, and not to mention like being on the ice and. Sometimes, even in juniors, and I got a fucking delay game penalty because I think we were taking pre-workout mix, and I take it, and you can't walk off the bench to go to the bathroom, so I had to skate off the ice during the play because a fucking whistle didn't stop. My stomach was, like, did that shit happen to you too?
Oh yeah, bud. I had some times in practice, especially where I had to just didn't say a word and just went right to the room, and then there was times, like I knew on my drives home from the rink, from like practice or games, or I knew exactly where all the stops were to go if I had to go, because you can't control it. It's just if you got to go, you got to go. There's no time. You maybe have 10, 15 seconds, and if you're not, I mean, I'll be honest. I shit myself at school one day. My dad went bananas. I asked the teacher to go to the washroom, and he wouldn't let me go. The teacher, and sure enough, I kept asking, but I wouldn't leave without him saying yes. And then finally, I decided to take off. Didn't make it. Everywhere a mess, and I got home. My dad was losing it. He lost. He went over to the school, and I think he might have had the teacher by the throat. I don't remember, but I think maybe he did.
See, girls like that. I heard girls like when you shit your pants.
That's right.
hey, but what's the story though? So you were playing in the playoffs though for the Maple Leafs, right? And all the media accused you of like leaving and whatever.
Oh yeah, the truth is, yeah.
Was that hard for you to listen to that though? And I guess you just didn't want to come out and explain what was going on, right? Or how that play out?
The whole truth of it is, I had talked to my agent about it and said, "What do you think?" So I feel I don't like it. I don't know what they're saying. Do I have to explain myself? And it wasn't just, to be quite honest with you guys, I don't know if you've read all the stuff, but it wasn't just about the colitis. It was more about I was going through some anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and thinking about killing myself and shit like that. So, I mean, I had lost a bunch of weight, had gone down to I played normally about 205, and I was down to 187 pounds, and then there's a point where I thought, if I don't get help now, then I might not be around. So that's the truth of the story, is that I left because I needed to. I needed to go get help, and I started seeing Dr. Shaw. I don't know if you know who he is, Cam.
My, the one doctor of the NHLPA that actually is like, you could sit and talk to, and he'll actually talk to you like a man. You know what I'm talking about with that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know exactly. That's why he tried to set me up with somebody in Toronto here, and I went there, and I thought this guy was interrogating me. So I went back to Dr. Shaw. I said, I can't, because I left halfway through when I met with his doctor to talk about what was going on, and he had me 20 feet away from him, and I was like a spotlight on me, and I thought, this guy's judging me right now, and I'm sweating, and I'm going, oh my God, I got to get out of here. So I left, and I talked to Dr. Shaw, and he said, you know what, I'll do it. And you know what? From that day on, I started getting better.
Wow.
So I owe a lot to him. You're exactly right. Some of you could sit there and be honest with him. He'll be honest with you, and you could talk like a man. And it was the best thing that he did it for me. I never forget the man for it.
He's like 6'6" too. Yeah. He's like 6'6", fucking best guy in the world.
I love hearing that, man. Because listen, I know you went through a hard time and you had some personal adversity and stuff like that. But I've read the stories, and you've been open up. Yeah. You've been open about some of the stuff you dealt with being on all fours on the floor. I mean, how bad did it get?
Well, I mean, I always had like the colitis, and I really believe in my heart that it's all tied together. It's all about nerves and stress and all that stuff. Even with my colitis, because since I've been done playing hockey, my colitis has actually been under control, and I'm not on any medication at all anymore.
Wow.
For that,
love that.
For the colitis, but so I believe it's all tied. So I believe I always had it. But when my dad passed away, I mean, it was the toughest thing. He was my best friend. He was everything to me, and he was like my support and somebody I could talk to about anything. And if I was being an ass, a dick, he'd be the guy who grabbed me by the ear or kick me in the ass and say, you know what, fucking smarten up. And I didn't have that anymore. And I turned to different ways of medicating myself and stuff like that. Like I never did drugs, but I liked to party and have a good time. And that's kind of the way I dealt with some of my pain and my emotions and stuff early on. And And then I just, it seemed to steamroll when I got back to Montreal, and I was trying to decide, what I was going to do. Like, am I going to stay in Montreal where, they treated me so great, and I had a great 10 years there? I was going to come to Toronto, be close to my family and Darcy and my mom and my sisters and stuff like that. And it hit me one night. I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, I knew I'd had anxiety and, a little bit of depression and stuff like that before, but not like this. And then I remember crawling upstairs and finally telling my wife, you got to call the doc. Doc Mulder was with the Cabs. He was another great man. Dr. Kinnear, they were good people that were really good to me. And Dr. Mulder came over right away, and he sat me down and said, this is what it is. And he gave me a little pill, and within a half an hour I was feeling better. And but I had that go on. It would hit me. I'd be laying on the couch for no reason. And I know what it stems back to, that I never dealt with my dad's death properly. And, life in general too. We all have our stresses. You guys have been through stuff. I've been through stuff, and it just added up. I think it was just all at once, trying to decide what I was going to do, made it worse. And I was having those constantly for 3 or 4 years where, I could be anywhere and I'd have to, like you said, Cam, get up and just take off, or I couldn't breathe, or I thought I was swallowing my tongue. And then I got to the point that I felt like, I'm in the dark. I can't get out of this. I can't win. I can't beat this. And I kept trying to fight it on my own instead of doing what I should have did way back and got the help I needed to get. Yeah. Did what I did at the end of it, which at least I did it. Now I'm here still, but we all think we're tough and macho and we can get through it on our own, and we really can't. And we got to the point where I was thinking crazy shit. I'd be standing on my buddy's condo balcony saying, oh my God, I think I'm going to jump off.
Oh, Jesus.
But then something inside for me luckily would say, and the other guys, they're not so fortunate. I would say, I can't do that. Fuck. So I realized it got that bad. I thought about those types of things, and I remember it was after one of the games in Toronto, and I've been really having a bad time of it then, and I was thinking, I was getting more and more thinking about that stuff, and I said, I can't do it anymore. I got to go. I walked out of the room. My mom was standing there. I said, I need to get help, and she goes, I can see it. He's lost all kinds of weight. My face was drawn. We all lost weight in the playoffs, but this was only in the second round or something.
She knows, though. She knows when she looks at you. Yep.
That's right.
Fucking A,
so
she
goes, she was right behind me. So, the nice thing is a bunch of the boys, I hid it from everybody. Like, nobody really knew. There was only a couple people that knew what I was going through, really knew what I was going through. A bunch of them called me that night and the next day and wanted me back. I just said, boys, I can't. I got to get help. And I went, I didn't do any appearances, no media stuff, nothing for a long, long time until I got feeling better. And I still have anxiety and panic attacks doing certain things. I hate getting up in front of groups and stuff like that, but I'm learning how to deal with them better, and I've learned how to deal with the depression and that stuff, that side of it, and still have the odd panic attack for sure. That's just something I'll deal with the rest of my life, but at least I know what it is now, and I got some tools to deal with it, right?
Andy Strickland and Cam Jansen here for you for GadgetBuyback.com. Gadget Lab, they got a store here locally if you're in St. Louis, 5541 Telegraph Road. Here's the deal. You got an old phone, maybe a cracked tablet, maybe it's perfect, but it's a little bit older. Turn it in right now. www.gadgetbuyback.com. Upgrade your devices, phones, computers, watches.
Anything.
Doesn't have to be Apple either.
No.
Get those tablets turned in. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com. 877-772-8880. Now back to the interview.
Yeah. Well, can I say something real quick, though?
Yeah.
I'm starting to get, honestly, panic attacks. It's not when I walk up. I do speeches all the time. That's fine. I can walk up and entertain you. When I'm driving, when I'm on a fucking flight, I think I'm falling through the damn thing. I have panic attacks all the time, and my parents are kind of they live next to me. They're getting kind of worried about it. Like, is that the same kind of thing that you went through? Were you flying and you felt like you're falling through? And like you just, all of a sudden you think of the worst negative thing possible that could happen in that particular situation. That's what's kind of going on with me. Was that the same kind of thing that went on with you?
You know what it started for me, Cam? I used to get it mostly at night, at the start. I get them at night because I thought if I fell asleep, I wasn't going to wake up. I was going to die I guess because my dad's death at a young age, 45, and other stuff and other stresses and all adds up. But that's what would happen to me. I'd be laying there and I'd be just starting to nod off, and I was probably just going to sleep. I thought, oh my God, I'm dying and I'm not going to wake up. So I'd wake up. I stayed awake for 12 days once. I didn't sleep for 12 days.
I've been there.
I was in my house. I stayed there for 12 days. I didn't leave my house, and I didn't go see anybody or talk to anybody, and I didn't sleep. But I mean, that's definitely, like, I got to the point you were asking how bad it was. It got to the point where I was just in a constant panic and anxiety attack. Like I just was in a constant panic and I couldn't feel good. I couldn't feel happy. I didn't feel like I did. I just thought I was in a dark hole and I wasn't getting out of it. But for sure, man, I've talked to a lot of guys. I actually talked to Joey Votto for 2 years. People don't know this. This is the first time I've ever really talked about it because he was having some panic attacks and stuff. And I remember Dusty Baker showed up at my buddy's place and asked if he could talk to me. And I ended up talking to Votto for 2 years. And it helps when you talk about it. It helps people that you have talked to you about it that have it too. So then you can understand it more and it makes you both feel better. So I think it was kind of good for both of us. But I've talked to a lot of people and that's what it exactly is. There's different ways of feeling it or how it hits you. But yeah, you're falling. You can't get out of a hole. You're falling into one. The planes are going to create all kinds of things. You should. I hate to say this, but I know we're doing this podcast, but it wouldn't hurt to just ask somebody, talk to them a bit about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but do you think the resources are there for athletes specifically? Like when they're having these type of thoughts, I mean, to be able to get the help they need. I mean, how difficult is it to come clean and to talk to somebody and let people know what you're dealing with?
Well, back in the day, I think it was really hard for our generation and before our generation. I mean, I think it's changed a lot in the last 5 years for sure, maybe even a little bit longer, but there's still room to be improved for sure. I mean, the game's a different game totally. The players nowadays have everything at their fingertips, food and nutrition and doctors and this doctor and that doctor. In our day, like my trainer wasn't even an actual doctor. It was just he was our trainer, looked after us and put ice and gave us Advils and stuff, right? But not to take anything away from that's what their job was. They did the best they could. I'm just saying that things have definitely changed now, and it's definitely easier for current players to get the help. And I think the NHL alumni itself is trying to get better at helping the former players, because I think that's the players that need to be taken care of more. Myself, like better, because I think that sometimes once the game's over and they're done playing, that they're forgotten about a bit, and that bothers me. But
you
I see
are
a lot
though,
of guys,
Shane. You are.
Yeah,
you are.
Unless
you play for Toronto, of course.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys, man. A lot of these guys. I mean, like Stephen Pete. Like a lot of guys, just you have all this attention, you have some injuries, you eat a bunch of painkillers. Yep. And all of a sudden you get booted from a team, and you can't make another team, and all of a sudden you're sunk into a hole. It's a tough thing for a lot of guys right now.
It's really tough, man.
Really
I went through the part of that. That was part of my anxiety too, was obviously coming to the end of my career and stuff like that. What am I going to do after? And I think a lot of guys, but you named one guy that, like, some of these guys, they don't have anything.
I know.
And they don't know how to do anything to get better, and they don't know how to make any money. Like, they don't have anything, and it's sad. I feel terrible for them. And Joe Murphy, who I play with.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And he doesn't want the help right now. The guys have gone up there. Trevor Kidd and a few guys have gone up and tried to help him. One of the nights I played with him in the World Juniors. We were together. We were 18 years old. We played together. We played together in St. Louis. Another guy was in St. Louis. And to see that, it's heartbreaking. And I just think that there's got to be more done for the action players for sure. And I mean, I played with Proby, and Junior was my left winger for a year and a half. You know,
really?
Todd Ewan played with me in Montreal. John Johnson played with me for a little while. You know, it's just Wade Belak played with me here in Toronto. Like, these guys are all fucking great people. Like, I knew them off the ice. They weren't those people off the ice.
No,
they were nails on the ice and tough dudes. Some of the toughest off the ice teddy bears.
Teddy
and
bears,
good people.
And even well, we personally know a couple of those guys, of course, and you know, it's completely different. You know, we watch a lot of your fight tapes, man, and you're going with all kinds of guys. Did anybody really catch you hard though? Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah,
I know Carnesy did. He's fucking 6'6", and you're in a weird spot on that. I watch all of it. Anybody really catch you though?
Honestly, Jan, on that one, I'm going to tell you the truth is that I'm glad I went down, but he didn't hit me that hard. It was more I was off balance and it looked better than it was, but I'm not saying he wouldn't have fucking taken me 10 times after that if we would have still been on my feet. The guy was nails and 6'6", you're right, and I was like fucking old as a goat by that time, but
great
I
hair.
have a lot of respect for that guy. But
you
know who caught me one of the hardest I've ever been hit in two guys. One guy was Kirk Fraser. Remember Kirk Fraser?
Oh, yeah.
You know, he lived here in St. Louis for a while. I actually coached two of his kids. And he's one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
That's always
man.
the case, Andy.
And his hands are like the size of
Idaho. Everybody's hands are bigger than yours. So he
You know
caught
what?
you.
That's the thing. I'll never forget it when he hit me because I kept fighting him, stood up, didn't go down, but my dad knew because he could see my eyes roll back in the back of my head. I was playing. He was playing for Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing in Montreal. I give this guy a little run down the boards, and he gives me a little shot, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a young, feisty rookie, right? I'm going to fight this guy. And got in a fight with him, and I remember when he was hitting me, I'm going, holy fuck, what is he hitting me with? Like a suitcase or something? Every time he hit me, it hurt. And I mean, I'm saying to myself, I can't go down. Nope. And we kept giving. I got him a few, and he got me probably more. And I ended up going to the hospital. I had a broken jaw. I remember that. My dad said he could tell right away. They came down the next day, and I was in the hospital all swollen up, and my cheeks were like, had a bunch of nuts in my cheeks, each cheek. And it wasn't a pretty sight. But yeah, he hit me hard. And then Lyndon Byers was pretty good too once when he was in Boston. He hit me with an uppercut. I'll never forget it. It was a good one.
Those uppercuts are fucking. Isn't that funny though, man? Those sometimes you think you're okay with a couple guys. You got your grip down, and all of a sudden they throw that uppercut and it catches you.
Oh yeah.
And now you're
that's
set
what he
back.
Hit me with. Mm-hmm. He hit me with an uppercut. I thought I had him okay, and because Nyland showed me a few things. Because when I first got there, I just threw as many punches as I could and hoped I hit him more than they hit me. And then Knox kind of taught me how to grab a guy and try to tie a guy up a bit because I'm not. Some of these guys are a lot bigger than me, but that didn't work that time. I thought I had a good grip on him, and no, he came with an uppercut.
Nope, he got
you. The bottom of the chin. I went, uh-oh.
And having your jaw broken is the worst fucking thing in the universe, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Unless you really want to lose a bunch of weight, and you're like, okay, I can't fucking eat anything for 2 months. That's the fucking worst injury ever.
I was eating through a straw for 2 months.
Fucking
the second time, I broke my jaw second time in Pittsburgh. J.J. Dayton, who I play with and who I love, he stepped up to hit me, and I put my stick up to – I hate to say it. I was hoping he was going to eat the stick, and I ended up eating it and broke my jaw again. And when I was at St. Louis, I missed I think 10 or 12 games or something. I only missed a couple weeks that time, which was good. And they didn't wire me shut, but the first time they did.
Oh, fuck. Jeez,
but yeah, there's some surprise ones that I got hit a lot. Pretty good ones, but I mean those two stand out for sure because the one uppercut I remember going, oh my God, that isn't good.
Well, we could go on and on forever, man. We could go on and on forever with you,
dude. You're the fucking
man. I mean, I hope the guest list. I'm glad when you
saw
the guest list, that
were we okay?
I'm glad you accepted. I'm glad you accepted our invitation, man.
You were good, and I'll come on with you guys again sometime. We'll get into some fun stories too. If you know what I mean.
I want the fun stories. And
I'll tell you a couple too.
And the Keenan stories. That's what we want.
Shit.
I got some good Keenan ones. We can talk about that when I got some good other stuff too. I'll get Shelly warmed up for you before I'll let him listen to ours and then
tell him stop being soft.
Get
exactly.
Him warmed up.
Jesus Christ
exactly.
Almighty. Everybody's bored right now. They want fucking entertainment. You definitely brought the heat, man.
Yeah.
You're the big boy. We appreciate it. You still have beautiful hair. Just remember that.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, boys.
All right,
man,
you got it, man.
You're the fucking man.
Take
right
care.
on, buddy.
Okay, boys. Cheers.
Peace.
Bye.
That was Shayne. Do you know how to spell Shayne, by the way?
Yeah, dude.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
How do you spell it?
Shayne. Go
Good.
fuck yourself. Put me on the spot like that.
The only reason you said that is I just told you how to spell it.
Well, why didn't
on your computer?
God.
Shayne. That's a
put you on the spot.
It's a badass spelling too, by the way.
I know it wasn't bad. I can
like
spell
that.
Corson too. Corson.
He was. You think about complete.
I had trouble with Lemieux. Lemieux though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You didn't.
I told you I want to go back to language arts class.
You didn't think there was an X in there?
The X fucked me. No, I think it was the IE, something to that effect. Oh, the U too. It's very complex.
Well, you should know Lemieux. You should know that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I thought the U was the X, but whatever.
But Shayne Corson, one of the most complete players I've ever seen.
Yeah. Warrior.
He could play power play. Blues fans forget in that game. When Yzerman scored over John Casey's shoulder. When Nick Kyprios, who's going to be on with us soon, when he falls on Grant Fuhr, and obviously Casey had to come in, turnover, neutral zone, and Yzerman scores. In the first overtime there, earlier in the overtime, man, I mean, Shayne Corson could have ended. He would have been an absolute rock star because I think that team was built
Patty Maroon's
with Keenan behind the bench. Who knows how far that team would have gone?
Yeah, that was who should have, would have, could have. But yeah, he did the same move I did the other day, and it just didn't work. Mm-hmm. The goalie stopped it. Very simple.
Yeah.
But
I love the story with him and Darcy Tucker, too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Brother-in-laws. But this guy fought all the heavy. I mean, do you know how many guys who play that style, who score goals, play the power play, out there when it matters the most, when you need a goal.
Where's the C?
Where's the C? And yet they're fighting the toughest players in the league.
And trading too. Wendell, of course. There's some guys out there.
No,
some
but
of
I'm
the
saying
defensemen.
modern guys. Haven't been many guys since him.
Oh,
though,
no, not at all. Captain too. Ooh, that stuff. I mean, Chara's up there and stuff like that.
Iginla,
But, yeah, Iggy's a good one.
Yeah.
So, no, he's just a complete player. Great guy. Wore small shoulder pads. Always had the kind of the tax skates.
Although Iginla scored 600.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He's
a lefty.
He's
too.
a Hall of Famer. Unbelievable. So we love having Shayne Corson. And again, told a little bit about his private, personal life, some of the stuff he's gone through. He opened up with us, and good to see and hear that he's doing great. That interview is brought to you by CarShield, as always. And, of course, carshield.com, 800-857-2481. Check them out. You got a bad computer, your engine goes out, small fee. Doesn't matter where you are right now in the world, wherever you're listening, just go to carshield.com.
Very simple.
And hook it up. For a small fee, you will make sure you are protected the way you deserve to be protected, to be honest with you. 800-857-2481, carshield.com. Mention the promo code CAM, and you'll save how much?
10%, baby. CAM.
That's right. CarShield and
Easy
carshield.com. GadgetBuyback.com and GadgetLabMobile.com. 877-772-8880. Have had some people ask us about Gadget Lab, and now they know. I mean, you don't know. It's okay to ask. If you're not sure, you ask, and then you find out firsthand.
You don't know until you know.
That's right, and then you find out. And these dudes are unbelievable as well. 877-772-8880. You have an old phone, tablet, your phone breaks.
Don't be a Hoosier.
Falls in the pool, whatever it is. Get yourself a new phone. Upgrade. You're a company owner. Don't have your employees slowing down business using some old devices.
Nope.
Get your best devices at the right prices.
That rhymed.
Yeah. GadgetBuyback.com, 877-772-8880. Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. Go see our buddy Dan Bellman, longtime hockey supporter. And this guy flat out gets it done when it comes to selling cars. Buick, Cadillac, GMC on one side of the street. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on the other side, all in Troy, Missouri. Check out their pre-owned inventory. They've got a ton of it right now. Again, Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. And, of course, Cope24.com. COPE24.com. Changing our parenting experience.
Lovely
Give
people.
a big shout-out to Renee.
Lovely.
Sponsoring the Cam and Strick podcast. Don't forget, every Wednesday we drop the Cam and Strick video clips where we break down Cam's fights. I mean, if you love one thing, it's talking about your fights. Let's be honest.
Well, we're going to expand from that as well, and then we're going to be doing clips of.
Are we going to run out of these? I mean, how many are there?
About 400. I got some off the ice too, and I'm joking. But we might expand and do some current highlights, and we turn it into maybe some bad boys back in the day, and I'll break those too.
We'll do
break
some
them
good
down.
stuff. We'll do some good stuff. No doubt about
Cool.
it. So check out those every Wednesday. Of course, check out our Twitter, Instagram at Cam and Strick Pod. Cam Jansen, Andy Strickland. This has been the Cam and Strick Podcast with Shayne Corson, episode number 57.